Hey everybody, it's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back with another episode of Horizons Author Lounge. And we have another great show ready for you. We're going to be talking with a publisher and we're going to be talking with a business coach. So if you haven't already been pen in a pad, because great information that you need to know. If you have been dreaming of writing a book one day, if you have been dreaming of starting your business or even making your business grow in 2024, you need to listen to this show. So we are having a little bit of technical difficulties going on right now, so we'll get the show started shortly. But in the meantime, I want to treat you to this amazing video. If you have not heard yet, the Black History Month Literary Weekend is upon us. It will be here February 22nd through the 24th. And early bird tickets have already gone on sale, and we have already sold our first VIP ticket. I am so excited. This is going to be something for the history books because we have 10 authors. We have some amazing guest authors. We're going to have a fashion show. It's also going to be at the Harborside Hotel. That's where the Ivory and Cream Affair is going to be. But we're also going to be having other events. We're going to be doing coffee with an author at the PJ's Coffee House in Bowie. And then we're going to also have a big chat and sign at the Barnes and Noble in the Bowie Town Center. The city of Bowie has been so good to us. So I'm really looking forward to showing them some love. But in the meantime, I'm just going to show you this great video, and then we are going to bring on our first guest. So watch this. Oh my goodness, you cannot tell me that video was not everything. And so I'm really excited about Black History Month Literary Weekend. The authors are excited. All we need is you there. So make sure you come to the free events as well as the Ivory and Cream Affair Jazz Brunch, because it's something that you will not forget. But meantime, in the between time, we are going to bring on our first guest, Mr. Dwight DeRamus.
Hi, how you doing, Dr. Rhonda?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, I had to make it audible and ditch the laptop and use the cell phone.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just excited to have you on the show tonight.
Hey, I'm just glad to be here.
Awesome. So tell me about. I told everybody that we're bringing on a publisher. So tell me first about Trey Nickel Publishing, what it's all about. What is your mission?
It is Trey Nickel Media. Actually, I changed it from Trey Nickel Publishing to Trey Nickel Media
Okay.
back in January of 2023. I wanted to make a name change because I wanted to do more than just publishing books. Now, I've had authors in the past. I've published three other authors in the past, but I wanted to move into because I'm sliding into podcasting and public speaking and
Yes.
things of that sort. So I wanted the word media to make it more expansive as opposed to the word publishing makes it seems more limited. But the
Oh, that makes
content,
sense.
yeah, but the content is Christian content. Is the gist of it. It has to be Christian content, and
Right.
that's the area where I fit in.
Okay, now when you're saying Christian content and you're saying it's not just books, what is some of the other content that you are publishing?
Well, I mean, at this point, it's books. Like I said, it's podcasts. It's my podcast. I have a podcast called Legacy Crown. I've done about 8 episodes, and I took a break back in August. And what I decided to do is I'm going to go back and resume in January. And
Hmm.
instead of doing weekly, I'm going to just do it monthly because of the way my life is right now. I got a lot of things going on. I think monthly seems to be best because not only I'm writing and producing, I'm also editing, and it's a lot of work in
I'm about to say you're just busy. That's what it's like.
there. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But and like I said, I got a lot to look for in 2024, and again, so that's pretty much as far as what Turning the Media is about.
Okay. Well, how long is the has Trey Nickel been around? Trey Nickel Media.
Uh, Trey Nickel Publishing was birthed in um, 2010 when I wrote my first book called A Slice of Truth, this poetry book.
Hmm.
And with the first book, there's a lot of errors and a lot of mistakes that were made,
Mm,
whether it's the graphics or the editing or that type of stuff. And it's one of those things where I learned a lot as far as what mistakes not to make, hire the right people, that type of thing.
yes.
So, so yeah, it's been since 2010, and then 2016, Disappearing Dads. Each of the books, like I said, I have 3 books, and each of the books is getting better and better as far as the graphics, the editing pieces, and everything.
Well, now disappearing dad sounds pretty deep. What's that about?
Oh, it's an impact of what happens when fathers not in the homes, in our churches, in our communities, and there are some suggested solutions as far as to help restore the family unit which has been broken.
Yes. Wow. Would you say that's more geared toward fathers? Is the bit? I mean, is the book itself? Is it something that you want fathers to read?
Everyone, fathers in general, this is not necessarily a so-called father bashing type of book, but it's more so of a book as to the why and why, like for example, why fathers leave and how it impacts the boys, how it impacts the girls, how the community sees it, what
Yeah.
happens in churches, that type of thing. It's more of an information as to the why.
Mm. Now, I know all of your books are written from a Christian perspective, but they all have to do kind of with personal development and personal growth. Is that correct?
Yes, for the most part, like for example, disappearing dads impact me because my father passed when I was 6 years old, and my mother was a widow um, in her early 20s with 2 boys, myself and my younger brother. Well, I should say
Mhm.
my late younger brother, who's no longer here. And that has had a profound effect on me, especially during my teenage years until my mother remarried again. And I got a chance to see when she remarried again, I got a chance to see what the role of a man supposed to do, how he's supposed to provide, protect his family, how he's supposed to lead his family, how he's
Yes.
supposed to, everybody be aligned and follow structure, that type of thing. I got a chance to see that, and my mother wound up marrying my stepfather, who passed back in 2020. They got married for 33 years.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and right. So I do my best to model as far as what I see. And currently, for me myself, um, my anniversary is this coming Saturday, and it'll be 28 years for me.
Oh, well, happy anniversary.
Thank you, thank you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
So I'm sure that you learned a lot of lessons along the way in those 28 years. So is that how you got the content for your book, just looking at your lessons learned along the way, or did you talk with people? How did that come about?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
Whether it's my experiences, as whether it's people who's been married longer than I have, got a chance to talk with those people. I got a chance to talk with the younger people because um, it gears towards people who are thinking about getting married. It's almost like a premarital type of book, and the things that they need to do before they get married. Like for example, both the young men and the young women, they have to be, for example, the men, they have to be husbands. They have to become husbands before they are husbands, just like the women have to be wives before they become wives. But these things must lead up not just to a wedding, but to a marriage. Wedding is just a ceremony. Marriage is for life.
And yet, a lot of people seem to want to work toward the wedding, the beautiful day, the pretty dress,
Right.
being the center of attention. And then they forget sometimes that life happens after that big day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. So now what do you have planned next? Are you going to be signing any other authors?
I have not considered that per se. One of the things that I know I was thinking about doing is to update and expand Disappearing Dads because the information was from the last decade. The book came out in 2016, and a lot of the research that I enjoy doing, because that's what I love. One of the things I love about being a nonfiction author is the research, especially a Christian nonfiction author, is double check, triple check, looking up Bible verses to make sure that it matches with what I'm supposed to say, because you got to be careful when you're handling the Word of God. It has to
Amen.
be right. It has to be on point. And I have a couple of pastor friends who go through to make sure that I'm on point as far as using those words. But one of the things that I'm thinking about doing in 2024 is to expand with updated information with disappearing dads. And then from there, maybe go to a few more, podcasts, such like the one that you're doing so great in with yours, for example, as well as others in the future. And think about writing book number 4.
So it sounds like this is going to kind of be a series. Are you thinking like a first edition, second edition, and so forth?
We'll see after this one because it's a lot of new information that is happened that is not in disappearing dads. Let me give you first example. The American Psychological Association has deemed traditional masculinity as harmful. Now it's in 2019, and that is it struck me, it grieves me. So they're saying, so being a man, it seems like it's saying being a man is harmful. And that
Right.
is further from the truth. But that engineer from the Me Too movement and that type of thing is sort of laid the foundation that, okay, well, we're going to just say that being, holding it in, suck it up, and don't cry, that type of stuff. Um, that's a little bit that's on the minimum side, but that's not truly what masculinity is all about. That's just that's some of the things that it has said that that's part of it, but it's further from the truth.
Yeah. And I tell you that I think it's beautiful that men are standing up for masculinity, so to speak. And what I mean by that is by not making it a crime to say that that you're the man of your house, that you're taking care of your family, um
Hmm.
that you are the leader of your household. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think where it gets convoluted is that there are women who are saying that they want to have a voice too, and that they feel that submitting to the man of their house means that they have diminished themselves. And I believe that that's far from the case for a person who is truly the man of his home. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's funny how you mentioned that. In Wife Life Legacy, one of the things I got a chapter called Building Boaz, And there's two things that a man must do. Two things. One, he must hear his instructions from God. If he doesn't hear instructions from God, he will not be able to love his wife the way that she's supposed to love her. And if he's not the way that she's supposed to love her, then in return, it'd be more challenging for her to submit to his leadership. And it's one of those things where, um, as far as losing, it's one of those things. It's more so of agreement than compromise. Compromise to me is a dangerous word. It's
Mm.
supposed to be agreement. Because how can two walk together unless they agree? It must be an agreement between the two as opposed to a compromise. There's a difference there.
Well, let's dig into that because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to see this and they're going to disagree with you. There are
Hmm.
going to be some who will say no, it is a compromise because both people should have a voice. But I think I hear what you're saying. Agreement and compromise are two different things.
Right, right. Keep in mind when I'm saying agreement, it's not agreement for all, it's agreement from both parties that they both
Right.
agree because it takes two to agree. So yeah, it takes two to agree. And again, compromise. When you compromise when you compromise something, somebody loses something. But when you're in agreement, everybody wins. And that's the
Yeah.
difference between the two. And that's something hopefully that the listeners will understand when it comes to compromise. Anytime you compromise something, you lose something. Somebody loses something. And if you are supposed to be one flesh union
Hmm.
and you also be as one, the agreement must be together, must be done together.
So you mentioned that in diminishing it's diminishing fathers, correct?
Disappearing dad.
Disappear, excuse me, diminishing. Where did I get that from?
Oh, that's okay. That's
Disappearing
okay.
dads. Oh yeah, but you mentioned that in disappearing dads, and that was your second book, correct?
Yes.
So what's the name of the third book?
Um, the book that's featured is Wife, Life, and Legacy. And legacy begins when choosing the right wife. That's how legacy begins. It starts off with her choosing the right wife.
Now, how do you choose the right wife?
Well, even the Bible says that who can find such a virtuous woman? It is not easy. It's searched high and low. Um, it's very, very difficult, but they are out there. It just you have to make that search. But they are out there. Trust me, they are out there.
Oh, absolutely. Good wives are out there. And
Yes, they are.
no, I mean, I wasn't asking, for me. I mean, I'm a good woman. I'm talking about for the other people.
No, no, no. I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general. But yeah, they out there. It's just that one of the things that's sort of is sad is that, for example, let's just say I got married in the '90s, for example. Okay, I got married December 16th, 1995. Okay, in that time, in that time, there were in that within that 2 3 year period, there were at least 7 to 8 weddings. Okay, fast forward to 2023. Since 2000 to 2023, just in my church alone, we only had 4 weddings.
Wow.
4 weddings in 23 years, but we had a bunch of funerals.
Do you think that part of that is this social media age? Because social media trends and social media, for lack of a better term, feelings, it's almost a group think when a certain thought gets popular, a lot of people latch on to it, and then it winds up being a trending thought or trending groupthink where everybody's kind of thinking the same. And if anybody thinks differently from the masses, all of a sudden it turns into a big virtual argument. And so some of the things that I've been seeing, especially when it comes to relationships,
Hmm.
that it's starting to be popular to where women are being bashed, and or men are being bashed, and it winds up becoming a battle of the sexes. Do you think that that could be part of the reason why we're not seeing as many marriages? Because you'll have women who are saying, I don't need a man. I'm focusing on my career. You'll have men who
Hmm.
are saying that they are the prize now, and you should be trying to get on their level. And so it winds up being a big virtual argument, as I said. And like Dedrick said, that's he feels like that's exactly what it is. It's kind of social media group thing. And so, do you think that that could contribute to the diminishing number of weddings that you're seeing? Because some people think
Uh,
that they don't even need to get married anymore. They,
right. That's certainly what you stated in the question that you stated. Certainly does add fuel to the fire. Um, so that does play a major factor based on what you're saying. Social media does play a part. But I want to go back. Dysfunctional families is where it starts. Everything starts at home. In this country, since the 2010 census, it's the first time that in the history of the United States, in the 2010 census, that there are more single people than married people. So what
mm,
I'm saying is that the marriage is on the decline. That's even before Facebook, even before YouTube, even before. We've been on a decline since the 60s. It just the ride keeps going down and down and down. The latest breakdown as far as race, it, and I try not to use race in as much as I can. Call it people groups because we are all human. We all bleed. We all got beating hearts. But
yes.
as far as people groups is concerned, um, our Asian brothers and sisters married at a 58% rate. Our white brothers and sisters married at a 52% rate. Our Hispanic brothers and sisters got married at a 45% rate. We are married at a 30% rate. We're at the bottom.
Mm.
Yeah, we're at the bottom. And that's where we are. Black men, 33% of them are married. Black women, 27% are married.
Wow, that's sad. I mean,
Hmm.
what is causing the decline? Is it just people not thinking they need to be married anymore?
Yeah, I have a chapter called "Slipping into Darkness," and it's easier to play house than it is to build a home.
Mm,
And playing house, in other words, so a lot of people think the next best step is to move in together, as opposed to walk down the aisle. So it's easier to come together, move in together, pay your bills together, that type of stuff, and then just live with each other. But it's hard to be committed in an uncommitted relationship. Yeah, I consider all those relationships really uncommitted relationships because anybody can walk away anytime.
this is true. And I think that's part of it is people are people don't want to go through all of the paperwork because they want to out.
Yeah, yeah, and sadly, that's fear based.
Mm,
That's fear
yeah,
based. It's a just in case if this doesn't happen, or just in case if I don't get this, if I don't get my needs met, if this doesn't happen for me, if that doesn't happen to me, then I'm done. And whether it's kids or not, the kids involved, I'll walk away. It's all about the law office of me, myself, and I. If my needs are not met, I'm done.
right. There it is. The me, myself, and I.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing that you do a lot of counseling in this area as well.
Um, from time to time, I do. Let me give an example. I got a chance to work with a young man who he had his fears about marriage, and because he was a child of a divorce, and I, what I did was to told him not only that this marriage thing is not an easy road, and you got to put work into it. This
Mm,
is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The enemy works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to break it up, which means you got to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with the help of God to hold it together. And this isn't for the faint at heart. And I encourage him, like I said, okay, tomorrow's not promised. Let's stop wasting time. And I say, men in general will know within within the year, if the young lady who he's dating, is he gonna marry her or not? He knows.
Yeah.
Either he's gonna play with her or he's gonna partner with her, but he knows in his mind. And he decided to
So,
take
but
the
are you
next step.
saying that if a woman is with a man for a year or about a year, and he's never mentioned anything about wanting to get married, that she needs to maybe start asking some questions about his seriousness?
She should better do that from get an idea from jump as opposed to just waiting. And if she has not met his family, that's a red flag.
Yes.
Okay, what is the purpose and the foundation of you all going out together in the first place? Because you're supposed to do it with intention. I should never think that I would never encourage anyone to just go into it just to hang out, because that's just time waste. That's time that you'll never get back.
Right.
So what is the goal? Is it just to hang out? Just hang out. Okay, that's one thing. But if it's when you go out, is it the purpose is to get married? Then you're always supposed to do it with intentions. And I encourage anyone, especially my young people, stop wasting time. Tomorrow's not promised. Do it with intention. In order to rebuild our communities or build up our communities, communities are built with families, and family units is nuclear family units with husband and wife.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I was
so I
waiting
am.
to see if you were going to
Yeah,
say
I am
that.
pro family. So I am pro family, and that's I'm pro family because that's the first institution that God created in the first place. He created marriage. It's just that we as the creature oftentimes tell the creator we want to do this our way. We're going to deviate as far as
Mhm.
how we going to do things. It shouldn't be, but that's what happened.
Well, it sounds like all of your book and all of the books are related to basically the same topic, correct? All three of your books?
Two of the three are. Two or three are. The interpersonal, disparate dads is about family, but the dad in particular. Life legacy is about those who are thinking about getting married and the steps that you need to take, that you should take before you get married, and that's of course with the biblical foundation for both those books.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put your link in on the screen one more time, treynickelmedia.com. So the books are available, I'm sure, on your website, but also on Amazon.
Oh yeah, Life Legacy is also um, on ebook as well.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. Okay, so it's not just print. Are you thinking about maybe also moving to audiobook?
Uh, I've been told that I should. I'm a little chicken. I don't know. Now that's a fear base for me. Is the audio? I don't know. Maybe you and I, maybe we can talk off air about that. And I'm sure you probably give me some good reasons why I should.
I absolutely will give you some good reasons why you should. And I'm also going to give you a resource right now. Go to acx.com and put your books in there. You can find a reader there. They can audition for you, and they can go ahead and get your turn your book into an audio book.
Okay. And I don't know. Do you remember that we met before?
Wait a minute, where do we meet?
Oh, for um, the lady's name in Houston. For
Oh,
the
Gwen Richardson.
Yes, remember she interviewed me, and you was on there with her.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That was
For
the I
disappearing
Offer
dads,
TV.
right? And that's for disappearing dads. Yep.
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I
And
still
yeah, and also I found out that you pledged blue and white too.
you see Zeta Phi Beta behind me. You see that
Hey,
mark right there?
hey, you see this ring, right?
Yes. I'm so glad you reminded me about that. I still do that show. I do it every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
And I also do it on or I do this show on Monday nights. And here's another
Right.
reason why you should be doing audiobooks, because Valerie Griffin says she is an audiobook fan. There are lots of people, and like myself, I don't always have time to read my full book. So I listen to audiobooks while I'm driving. I'm listening to audiobooks while I'm exercising. Sometimes I listen to it while I'm at work when I just need to decompress for a minute. So make sure you turn those books into audiobooks. I think they would be amazing.
I definitely consider it. You probably give me a little bit more arm twisting, so we'll see. We'll see.
Well, we can definitely talk more offline, but I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I'm really interested in all of the topics of your books, and I'll be ordering them myself because I'm putting it in the atmosphere that I'll be getting married within the next year or so. So um, we could use that book. We want to make sure that when we do this, that we're going to do this and keep it there. But look, Latoya said she's an audiobook fan too. See?
I know, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, I love to, conversate with you, some, off the air. That'd be great.
Sure, let's do that. We can sit down and talk more about it. But in the meantime, congratulations on all you're doing. I look forward to hearing more about your projects. And like I said, I will be looking for those books because any help that we can get, there's no real lesson book lesson, so to speak, or self-help book on how to do it right. A know-how-to book on how to do it right.
Hmm.
Um, so we need help. We don't. This isn't something that we're just born to know how to do. So we need these books. So thank you much.
Right, right.
All right. So everybody, make sure this is Dwight DeRamus. Go to Triple Nickel Media. Once again, I will put the website on the screen. Go to Triple Nickel Media. Find out more information on these books. And you have a wonderful evening, Mister.
Thank you so much, and hopefully, everyone gets something out of the show. So, now, hopefully, you did too.
I did as well. Thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for supporting the show. And I hope you'll be able to stick around and hear some more and hear the next guest.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. You have a great one.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, y'all. That was Dwight DeRamus. And now it's time to bring on our next guest, Krystal Vernee. So we were just talking about publishing. Now we're about to get into business because this young lady is a business coach. And what I didn't know, I always thought I knew you were a business coach, but I didn't know the businesses that you had prior to coaching. So when I read your bio, I was like, oh my goodness, she has been doing her thing.
Yes, I have a few businesses, a few more in the works actually.
Oh shoot. Now how do you have time for all these different businesses?
Well, time blocking and time management are my best friends.
I think we should jump into that first because I think that is time blocking and time management is what holds a lot of people back from doing what they're meant to do, whether it's writing a book, whether it's running a business, or whether it's building a platform. It's about managing the time that you have and trying to get a lot done in a small amount of time and still have time for your family and still have time for yourself. So if we can we talk a little bit about that? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I've been doing time blocking now for a few years, but like I said, I have multiple businesses, so there are certain days that I only work on certain businesses, and then or if let's say I work on two businesses in one day, there's a time limit on it. So it's like from 9 to 11, I will answer emails from one of my businesses. After that, I am no longer in my inbox. Emails is the death of productivity. Let me tell you.
How in the world can you disconnect from your email? That's hard.
I will log out. I mean, yes, it's on my phone, but what I mean is like, so when I used to work in corporate, you have your email up on one screen, right?
Yeah.
And you're working on the other screen. And all you're doing all day, every time it dings, is you're looking over. And that is a distraction. Believe it or not, like you think you're being efficient, but really you're not. So, I decided, okay, I'm going to look at my email in the morning and I'm going to look at my email in the afternoon. And those will be my designated times for emails. That's like an example.
Okay.
Is it still going? Yes. If your phone notifications bother you, turn your notifications off. Have quiet time. Like there's a reason for these settings on our phone. It's not just to be cute and ignore people. It really does help you to get stuff done. So if I decide that after 11, that's it, I'll come back to it. But there's something else I need to focus on. If I'm working with the client, I don't want to keep looking at my email or trying to solve a problem that can't be solved anyway, because I can't do it until I get out of the meeting or finishing the work that I'm doing. So I use that practice, every day. Even with personal things, it's like, okay, so after 6 o'clock, I'm gonna go and watch TV.
Right.
I'm gonna leave my phones upstairs and I'm gonna go downstairs.
And we can't feel bad about that. If you want to have a couple hours where you're doing absolutely nothing, you should be able to enjoy doing that absolutely nothing. You don't have to. I think I like to call it a fear of the white space. We have white space on our calendar, and we're like, oh shoot, I better fill that up. I can't just tell people I don't have anything to do. I always have to be doing something.
Yeah. No, I think scheduling rest was one of the best things that I've ever done for myself, because I was one of those people who would try to fill this white space, be doing 5 things at one time. Like, how are you doing all this? I'm like, I don't even know, honestly. I'm just here existing. I'll let you know when I know. But then, as I've gotten older and matured and grown up in my business, I'm like, yeah, this isn't healthy. I need to be going to sleep. And I need to take time for myself, take time to have fun, take time to travel. So I think there are ways to get that done. Like, one of the ways I like to do that with travel is if I'm going to speak somewhere, I might add a day or 2 on the trip just for fun. So it's like I can have fun and then I can also do the work. But you have to kind of get creative, when you have multiple businesses or have a tight schedule.
So let's talk a bit about you. I know we kind of jumped right in there, but tell us a bit about you. How did you get started? How long have you been in business? And when did Simply She become a thing?
Yeah, so I guess I'll take it back to kind of the beginning. I've started entrepreneurship at the age of 16. So I started with an eBay store and I was selling vintage and designer handbags. And I did really well, but I opened the eBay store at the age of 16 and not 18. So my mom was not happy with that. And I had to close it down. That wasn't a fun conversation in my house at that time. So, I went to college with the want to be an entrepreneur, but I knew I was going to get a degree. So I actually have an engineering degree. And I've had several business ventures. Sales was one. And then I did financial planning. And finally, I got into opening my studio, Divas and Dolls Fitness in Temple Hills, Maryland. It's a pole and central dance studio. And that's my longest standing business. We're turning 10 next year. Oh, wow. And at year 5 was when I opened Simply She. Because even before that, I realized I had a knack for building brands. All of the things that I started were branded. It was kind of this is the website, this is the logo, this is what we stand for, this is how we're going to do service. So I found that I kind of had a knack for that and people gravitated towards it. And so that's when I was like, I really want to help other women be able to do this. I want to help them be able to set up their brands, set up their businesses, and, create their own seat at the table. I will say my earlier ventures I let them go because I had negative influences in my life. And so that's also one of the things that I'm really passionate about. I had family and friends telling me that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I wasn't going to be able to make it. And my business wasn't going to amount to anything. And I listened to that. Right. And Divas and Dolls was the first business where I didn't listen. I kept going. And I'm so glad that I did. And so I know that is still a thing, especially for women entrepreneurs. So I really want to be a champion for women and women entrepreneurs and help them to build their business and get past that, especially if they're experiencing that. Because a lot of times as an entrepreneur, you're going to get the family and friends that think you're crazy.
Yeah.
And how do you combat that and change the relationship so it doesn't affect you mentally to be able to keep going?
And I don't think that sometimes it's not the family's fault. I don't know if they're not always trying to speak negatively. They're speaking from the place where they know.
Yeah.
I think of it in the case of do you remember somebody say George Washington Carver? Oh my goodness. But do you remember there was the talented 10th, and then there were the people who say, you know what, it's more important for me to take care of my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's more important for me to do what I can do. So, you can have all of those fancy dreams if you want to, but I need to feed my family.
Yeah.
So when you say something crazy about wanting to start a business and using that good paycheck, that good corporate paycheck that you were probably getting, and saying, and then putting that money you were making toward that business, people are going to think that you're crazy, but they're coming from the place where they know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. They are coming from the place that they know, which is why it's important to be around people that understand you.
Right. And that's why I was going to ask you next, when everybody around you is coming from that place where they know, and you that's the influence that you're getting. How do you break out of that and start surrounding yourself with people who are going to speak life into your business and speak life into you?
Yeah, I think you have to do the work to find the tribe. So I was not putting myself in places where other entrepreneurs were, and that's one of the things that's the first one piece of advice that I say: hang around other entrepreneurs. They don't have to be in your same industry, but there's value in being around people that are like-minded and know what you're going through. Of course, you're going to want to hire coaches and mentors and to be able to level up, but that was one of the things early on that, like, I wish I had found, like an entrepreneur meetup, or just even looked up some events that I could have gone to, networking, where there would have been other entrepreneurs present, that I failed to do. So that's a way to start, is find a networking opportunity or find an event, an entrepreneur's event that you can go to and meet other people and start to have these critical conversations and build relationships.
Now, have you heard people say, well, I've tried to go there, but I just didn't feel that I was at the level that those other people were at. And so we start to either compare ourselves, or we start to succumb to what we call imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I definitely heard that. I've experienced it myself. Like, dang, like everybody here seems so successful, and I'm just me. I'm just here. But I will say, pat yourself on the back for making it in the room today.
Yes.
Like, you took the opportunity, you stepped into the room. And so you have to start believing that every room that you are in and that you enter, you belong there. So there was a reason why you were able to walk into that room to find that event. It's because you were supposed to be there. And so that's kind of how I've started to live my life. However I end up, like the rooms that I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm ready to be in this room. I know that I'm supposed to be there, and there's something there for me. There's an answer to one of my questions. There's a new relationship. There's a new friend. There's a new partner, a new collaboration opportunity. There's a new mentor, right? And I will say that if you feel like you don't belong, that's the best place to be. If you think everybody's more advanced than you, that's the best place to be.
Now you're learning from people.
Listen, they gonna tell you something you haven't even thought of, because maybe you were in a room where everybody's at the same level. So being able to learn from people further along than you is a gem. It's a gold mine. They're going to bring you up to where they are. That's where you want to be. What I wouldn't give to be in the room with like Oprah and Tyler Perry. I just want to be in there.
Do a little bit of ear hustling. I'll be all right.
I was like, can I just stand next to you? See if that rubs off, whatever.
So now tell us about your coaching program.
Yeah. So my signature coaching program is the Brand Builder Blueprint, which is the same name as my book. And it's based upon my 5-part framework for success in building your brand and building your business. we help entrepreneurs to create um, a digital offer suite. So, like, things that you want to sell online, whether you're a coach or consultant, a speaker, an author, helping you to be able to create a sustainable and consistent income from your zone of genius, which is what the program is all about. So what you know how to do well, what you're passionate about, and who you can best serve with that knowledge.
So is your program more for a person who is thinking of building starting a business, or maybe the person who's like maybe in their business and they're tired of working in their business and they want, and they want to just run their business instead of their business running them? And then with that also being said, is it for the person who is trying to build, or the person who's already at a certain level and they're trying to get higher? Because I know there are three different tracks.
Mm-hmm. For the folks who are just starting, I have some other offerings that would be better to kind of
Mm-hmm.
get them to know like what they really want to do.
Right.
The actual coaching program has two tracks. So if you have started and you're trying to gain traction, that's one track that we have. And then we have folks who started, are making money, but want to go to the next level. So we break them up into two success tracks so that people are kind of running along with the same group, like same cohort, if you will, to help them basically learn at the level that's most appropriate, if that makes sense. Because what you're doing to gain traction is going to be different than what you're doing to scale. So we don't want people to get confused, because you got to get the foundation before you can actually scale. So we make that very clear.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes Dedrick's shaking his head. If you're the smartest one in the room, change rooms.
That's right. Listen, I strive to be the newbie or the person who knows the least. Why? Because that means that I'm going to be able to, soak up that wealth of knowledge and really learn something. That doesn't mean that you have nothing to contribute, right? Because you can always teach someone something from your point of view. It's always valuable, but I like to surround myself with people doing better than me.
I'm not mad at that either. So, now with the book, I know you said the book, the book and the business have the same name. Do I need to, or excuse me, the book and the coaching program, I should say. Do I need to join the coaching program in order to get the book?
Nope. You can buy the book separately. So the book is available on Amazon. It's also available on my website. The ebook version is available on Amazon. On my website, you can buy a physical copy. Um, and the audiobook version is coming soon.
Oh, okay. Did you hear me fussing about audiobooks?
I did. I did. I was like, wow, I have one coming out soon. But the book is based upon the framework that we teach in the coaching program.
Awesome. Okay, well,
Mhm.
I did put your website in the chat, and it's also on the screen, www.isiemplyshe.com, correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, are there any other resources on your website that people can take advantage of?
Yeah, so I do have a couple of courses that folks can take advantage of, from like finding your niche. I have a quiz where they can do that. I also have courses on the basics in like how to find your content pillars in social media, how to get clients. So there's a wealth of courses that people can take advantage of. Creating a lead magnet. I do have another site as well, slayhardeveryday.co, that people can
Oh, let's put that up there. That's
mhm,
SLAY hard
mhm,
every.
day.co, and people can visit that, and that's where they can access the majority of my courses and current events. Yep, that's correct.
Awesome sauce. Okay, it is on the screen, y'all. Make sure you take advantage of this good information. So speaking of good information, I know one thing that I am working on for myself for my business is SEO.
Uh-huh.
I want to, because I feel that I have a lot of great programs, I have a lot of great resources, but I want to work on my SEO so more people can find them.
Uh-huh.
So is that something that you guys work on as well?
So we do have modules on SEO. We don't claim to be SEO experts. So we do teach you the basics, why it's important, what you should have on your websites, tags, all those things, H1, H2, so that
Right.
people like understand why they should do certain things, how it relates to Google and how you show up on Google. So we do explain that, but we are very much an advocate of, okay, this is the foundation. You should also work with an SEO expert
Right.
to help you take it further. But we do help with basic setup.
Well, sure. It sounds like you're offering a lot for your in your program. So do you have a cohort, so to speak? Do you keep a certain number of clients and you only stay at that number, or can people join around the year, or how does it work?
People can join, whenever. It's an evergreen program, so we don't have like an official start and end date, but we do focus on where people are in business. That's how we kind of make sure that everybody is going to be the most successful, and teaching them things that they need to master in order to be able to move to the next level. We also do done for you. So in addition to the coaching part of it, we will build your sales funnels, help you create the products that you're going to sell. So we do both of those. Some people, they like to do it themselves because they want to learn how to do it. And some people, I just want it done.
Yeah, see,
And
that's probably gonna be me. I don't have time. Now I put this statement on the screen because I think it is something that's really important. A lot of times, people in business, and I've gone through it myself. Where you're working on your business constantly,
Mhm.
and you may lose yourself.
Yeah.
And often that is a lesson learned. You where you sometimes you don't even realize you're losing yourself until you look around like, what in the world? So much has gone past me. So is
Mhm.
that something else that you talk about in your program?
Yeah, getting people to where they don't have to feel like they have to be on all the time, be on social media all the time. I believe in working smarter, not harder. So there is, there is a cost associated up front, meaning the cost is going to be setting things up so that they work for you, for months and years to come. So getting the system set up properly allows you to be able to not be so much in your business, but when you're the one who's trying to send the emails, you're the one who's trying to follow up with everybody, sending every single text message, and things aren't automated. There's no system. You're going to continuously be like
Right.
in a laborious situation. You're going to be like constantly just working instead of having the tools and systems work for you, right? So that you can do other things. So we're all about systems. We're all about automation. We're all about processes, because not you should never be trying to like send somebody a link and then going and sending them an email and then going back. That should all be automated. No, 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 no. You drop the link once, or they find the link once, and after that, the magic happens. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and that is something that I'm worked on. I've automated quite a few systems in my business, but there are more systems that I can automate. I mean, because I was looking at myself, I'm like, how come I don't have this automated? How come I don't have my assistant doing this? So there's some things I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to show her how to do this because I can't keep doing all of this because I gotta if I'm doing all the little things, then the big things that I actually have to do for my clients, I'm not going to have time to do them.
Right. That's right. You get stuck. You get stuck in the minutia. That's not where we want to be. So I completely understand that. If you get stuck on losing, you will never see the lesson to learn. That's a good one.
Valerie's just dropping all the gems. All right, Valerie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, people see, there's no win or lose. There's only learning. So failures are nothing more than lessons, and you got to take that for what it is, especially in entrepreneurship. I completely agree. If you get stuck on the fact that you lost or something didn't go right, you will not be able to see the lesson. There was a lesson there. There was a reason why that happened. So
Amen.
just
Amen.
take it for what it is, internalize it, and what can you do better the next time?
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, Now, for your clients, do they have to be located in the same area as you, or do you have clients all over the country?
International. We are Simply She is international, so we take clients all over the world.
Okay, international. You have some international clients as well?
I do, yes, a few.
Wonderful. That's awesome. So you are doing your thing. So how many clients do you have right now?
We're working with about 50 clients right now. We're looking to grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something like 5, 10, 50.
On various things, because so I have a coaching business, but I'm also a consulting firm.
Right.
And I have those two separate, or those are distinct for me. So like consulting would really be more so for a business that's established, and I'm coming in to help them with processes, making things more efficient, maybe putting some systems in place, technology, things that's going to help their business run like a well-oiled machine. So, so yeah.
Wonderful. And you said you take clients anytime, so you don't have like a certain time of year.
No certain time of year. People just, place their inquiry, and well, for coaching, they apply to my program. For consulting, we do have to have like a just discovery meeting to determine the scope of the project. So with that might be a little different depending on what they actually need. I do often find that like once I meet with someone and like kind of get their needs, then sometimes it's a little bit more extensive than what they're describing. So, we like to have discovery meetings with our consulting clients to make sure that we properly scope out the project. But for coaching, it's evergreen. They can join at any time.
Well, congratulations on all you're doing. I think it's amazing. I found out about you, I believe, through Instagram, but some kind of way I'm also on your mailing list. So I love your emails.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why I said I've got to get her on the show.
I was like, you finally made it happen.
Yes, and I think we've been trying to do this for a minute.
Yes. I think when you first contacted me, I think I was like, I had like, I think a couple of speaking gigs back to back, so I couldn't do it, but I'm happy that we were able to get this in.
Yeah, me too. And if you ever want to come back and do another session like this, if you have another book that you like to promote, or if there's any way that we can support, please just say the word.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Now, tell me again, I don't know if you told me, where are you actually located? You're here in Maryland, right?
I'm in Maryland, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because I heard you mention Maryland when you were talking about your business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to plug the business again? Because I know you've been in you're hitting year 10, so that means it's still open, right?
Yes, it's still open. So Divas and Dolls Fitness and Cirque Sensual, we're in Temple Hills, Maryland. So that's www.divasanddollsfitness.com or www.cirquesensual.com. Both of those are run out of my studio on Beach Road in Temple Hills, 4580 Beach Road, Temple Hills, Maryland.
Okay. I'm putting your Divas and Dolls website in the chat. It's divasanddollsfitness.com.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And is spelled out?
And is spelled out. Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. So there it is on the screen. And Valerie said that she would like your contact information. So how can people get in touch with you?
Yes. So I'm on Facebook at I-Simply-She, Instagram at I_simply_she, and LinkedIn at Krystal Vernee. You can also email me info@isimplyShe.com. And Valerie's on LinkedIn. I see she's commenting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you guys got all of that. Thank you once again for being on the show tonight. I really enjoyed talking with you. And thank you to everybody who just made this an interactive conversation. This was great. I really appreciate that. So help us to continue to make the show grow, because we want this show to continue to be a support for up-and-coming authors. We want to be able to keep offering great information to our reviewers and to readers of these great books that we promote every week. So that is all we have for tonight. Krystal, once again, thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening. Have a great week. And I'm going to see you on Instagram.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Right. Good night.
Have a good night.
You too. All right, and so that's all we have. So great. I told you this was going to be a great show with a lot of great information. I hope you were writing this stuff down. If you catch the replay, just go into the chat, do hashtag replay, so you can catch some of this information and let us know that you were here. If you need anything else, y'all know where to find me. But in the meantime, that is all we have for tonight. I will catch you guys tomorrow on Black Authors Matter TV. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.